Do you know that there is a clean route for a successful architect-client relationship? Yes, the clean route is a client-architect relationship starts from a prospect to a client and then to a friend, a lifelong friend or a lifelong well-wisher. This is the route. So, if this route has to be established successfully, then there is an 8-step process which an architect needs to be very clear about, very careful about, to establish a cordial relationship with the client throughout the project and beyond the project. So here comes the 8-step process, the 8 stages. The first stage is the inquiry stage. So that is when the client inquires an architect for a project as a prospect. So when you say a prospect, the client might appoint the architect or might not appoint the architect. The client is inquiring multiple architects as well. So it is just before confirmation whether to appoint this person or not, whether to give a project to this person or not. So in this stage, the architect has to deal with the client and communicate with the client in a very appropriate way for this prospect stage to move to the next stage. So the second stage is the project confirmation stage. So the project confirmation stage is the stage when the client says, okay, fine, all the details whatever I have required are clear, and then I am formally appointing this architect for my dream project. So in this stage, the architect has to be patient in giving all the papers, all the clarifications required for the client, so as to earn the trust of the client and give them the confidence that the decision they are making is absolutely right. So this is the second stage, the project confirmation stage. So after this stage comes the designing stage. So once the client has formally appointed and has given us a return advance and has asked us to start on the design, in this stage we will have multiple design changes, improvisations, revisions, and all these things. So in this stage, the architect has to be very patient and understand the needs of the clients, and has to establish a very cordial and assertive way of communication and relationship to move to the next step, to earn the happiness of the client. So that is the designing stage. And after the designing stage, the fourth stage is commencement of construction. So now in the commencement of construction stage, what happens is the initial set of details are released for construction, and then the project hits the ground, and then groundbreaking, foundations, all the concreting work, all those start. So in the initial formative first few weeks and months, when the client might have a lot of confusions, the client might have a lot of misconceptions, the client might have a lot of doubts. So that is also a critical stage when the architect has to be very patient and answer to all the questions of the client and maintain the cordial relationship. So that is the fourth stage, the commencement of construction stage. Because for us, we might have so many construction stages, but for that client, that is the first construction experience. Till then, all their other relatives will not know, and only when the project hits the ground, all of them will come to know, and that is when a lot of surprises or shocks might come to them and then to us. So that is the fourth stage. The fifth stage is when the project takes shape, when the shell has come up and the finishes are happening, when the choice of materials, the finer details are getting happen. That is when a lot of decisions will happen. That is the fifth stage, the finishes stage. So in this stage, the architect has to continue the cordial relationship, because while doing finishes, a lot of customizations, a lot of changes, revisions, change in budgets, all these things might happen. So the architect has to be accommodative enough to understand the client and deliver accordingly to achieve a win-win situation. So that is the sixth stage, which is the finishes stage. So now the client is all happy with the finishes, and now comes the completion stage. So when all the construction activity finishes, all the interiors are coming to a completion activity, that is when the client will land in a lot of financial crunch or emotional tough time, schedules not being met, work progress not going as per expectation, so many other unexpected things. So that time a client might go through a tough time, and a lot of arguments or harsh statements might also come. But that is one of the crucial times when the architect should play a very very take a patient stand and explain the client and be one among the client, support the client, and continue the cordial relationship at the same pace, so that the project finishes at a good standard of completion. So now the sixth stage, the project is completed, and then the next thing, the seventh stage is the handover stage. So when we say handover of all documents, drawings, reports, as-built drawings, the final project reports, all the statements, whatever the client wants as as the formal completion from all the consultants and the architect on the completion of the project. So at this stage, we will have to submit all the completion documents, drawings, and raise the final invoice. So to raise the final invoice and to collect the balance fees, all the works from our end as promised should be done as per expectation. Only then this handover stage will be very smooth. So work has to be smooth, and then the communication also has to be smooth for a cordial relationship. So now we have handed over everything, the client is happy, architect is happy, everything is done. So 7 stages are over, and now come the 8th stage, that is the after completion stage. So even after completion, so we started as a prospect, and then the client became the person became a client, and then after achieving a win-win situation, the relationship has to move to a lifelong friend and a well-wisher category. So it has to be like they are interested in our welfare and we are interested in their welfare, and then it should be like family friends kind of thing. So even after completion stage, we should be there in communication with the client every now and then, ask them about how the experience of the house is, are there any problems, are there any rectifications to be made, are there any improvisations we could do from our end, and then how is the feedback from other people, what all could be done better. So all these things can be always asked from our side in a very healthy way to establish a cordial relationship throughout the project for the architect to have a successful career and to live a happy life. So these are the 8 stages, and I'll repeat once again. The first stage is the inquiry stage, second stage is the project confirmation stage, third stage is the designing stage, fourth stage is the commencement of construction stage, fifth stage is the finishes stage, sixth stage is completion stage, seventh stage is handover stage, and eighth stage is after completion stage, when prospect to client to lifelong friend and well-wisher happens. So I hope this video was of value to you, and do share your comments and opinions in the chat box. Thank you, and see you soon in my next video. This is Lines Karthik, founder of Studio Lines and Aki Shastra. Thank you.